It's Tia. It's been a Mississippi minute, but we bite, baby.
What's up, Pink Posse? It's your girl Ja, and yup, we back at it like a crack addict.
It's your girl Jiggy, aka Tanika. Listen, pull up on us. It's time to cut up, cause we back.
What's up, Pink Posse? It's your girl Koji, and we're back. Pink Sunday Radio.
What it was like if you happen to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community, what it was like coming out and sharing your truth, or if your truth was exposed without, um, just you weren't ready for it to come out and it did, or just the time that you've been exposed for something in general. I mean, that can always be, um, a frustrating time where you're confronted with something that was supposed to stay in the dark but was brought to the light. And honestly, I will say when I announced to the Facebook community that was my world at one point in time that I was biromantic as well as what I call two-spirited but non-binary, it was rather uneventful, but probably also because I ended it with, if you got something to say, tell it to your mama, and the block button is free. So, but it was really uneventful. Nobody really cared. So, and I just was like, okay, I could have kept that to myself, honestly, because I don't think that it's the way that I present myself to the world that it matters. So, but I will say there was a time that was really hard for ones that I laugh at now where more of my business was exposed, but it was more so like the person I was involved with exposed me, because that's what they did. They tricked women into, I won't say tricked, but they, showed interest and got women in this particular workplace that I was in to like date them. And, as soon as they smashed, it was like, let me get back to everyone and let everyone know what took place. So, I mean, I've been a victim of that. However, I'll say the light, and I guess I thought this was going to be more funny, but it's not. But for me, I was able to flip it. I'm the type of person that when you try to make a fool out of me, we all going to be a fool. Mm-hmm. So, like, oh, you want to embarrass me? Oh, we all are going to be embarrassed. So, yeah, he put the business out in the street, and yeah, it was one of those messy kind of workplaces where everybody thought they had their tea. And for the longest time, I really didn't speak on it, even though I knew people were whispering and talking about it. And I found out that this was common. Like, this was almost a game that everybody knew that he was going to prey on me in this way. And so when I got the opportunity where I was faced with it, I flipped it on his head, and he was the one with his mouth hanging open and looking stupid, and I never had to really hear about that anymore. And honestly, weirdly enough, like, I feel like I'm being very vague because, like, I feel like I'm being very vague because, I mean, it is delicate subject matter. We had sex, and then he went to tell everybody, and he was really bragging. He was like, yeah, I got her, da, 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 da. And I was like, I don't know what you're telling anybody for. That didn't even feel like nothing. I was like, I wouldn't have told anybody that mess. But nobody had ever stood up to him before. Like, all the other girls had literally felt shame and left. And I was just like, oh, you want to tell somebody about that night? I was waiting for you to get your fat ass up off me. Because he was like, oh, you was breathing heavy. And I was like, dude, if you guys think I'm thin now, this was so long ago that I was maybe 120 pounds. Maybe. Probably not. You know, and I'm not a person of body shame. But in this particular, because I was with him, right? Like, I was into it, obviously. But it's like he wanted to make a fool of me. So now I'm going to make a fool of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it wasn't as nice as I feel like Wody and Murda's little moment is where, you know, Murda's exposed in this moment and Wody's just kind of like, hey, it's just me. Keep that shit to yourself. Mine was like public embarrassment. Or at least he tried to be. So, I don't know. What about you guys? Have you had any moments where either A, you were something of yours that you wanted to keep secret was exposed, or you've seen somebody get exposed, or, you know?
Since you brought up this topic as a potential bonus episode, I've been trying to think of like an occasion that I was exposed. I don't know. I'm just like inherently a very private person, and I don't like mix different parts of my life. So exposing me doesn't really happen because like you can't. Like I keep friends apart. I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I don't know if my family is just weird, but we don't bring like casual relationships around the family. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but like probably my 10 closest cousins, I've never seen like any boyfriends, girlfriends, except the people that they eventually married. And like if you aren't married, I've never met or you've never brought like a just casual boyfriend around. So like in my family and with my friends group, like those casual kind of things don't mix. So I've never been exposed in anything. Like my work friends don't mix with my family. Casual relationships don't mix with my family. So you can't expose me really to anybody. So I don't know. I don't really have anything to share here as far as being exposed, just because of that, and just because I'm not really a sharer, so I don't give people. I mean, I guess that's trust issues. I don't give people information that could expose me. I'm a very much take stuff to my grave kind of person.
Mhm. Yeah, I would have loved to take my stuff to my grave, but he thought. I'm sitting here now like, dang, maybe I should find out. But honestly, everybody already knows. But this was so long ago. This was like 20 years ago. How about you, Tia?
So I'm bisexual and heteroromantic. So I have sex with women. I don't choose to have relationships with women just because I've always. So for years I always thought 2 women in a relationship, that's way too many emotions. No thanks. As I've realized I'm a little bit of a cyborg and I don't really have a lot of emotions, it probably could work at this age, but I mean I'm also a lot older than that. I probably was a lot more emotional when I was a whole lot younger. So now I probably would have a relationship with a woman, but I've always been heteroromantic where my relationship ideal was with a man. I say this to say I've never like come out or been exposed. I'm kind of like Tanika. I'm super like private. Like I even talk more to you guys, all the stuff that I've said about like stuff going on with me than like anybody. I'm just not. But on the flip side, it's kind of like something Tanika said about Teak before, that she doesn't think he's necessarily in the closet. It's more like he's private, but if you ask Teak, yeah, like niggas, like, and what? Like, Teak is just kind of like, and I'm kind of that person, because me and my best friend have talked about it. Like, anyone close to me knows I'm bisexual. It's not something that I necessarily tell people, but it's not anything that I'm hiding either, because, and I'm more liable to like we'll never have a conversation, but I'd pop up and be like, this is my wife, such and such. And, like, that'll be that. Like, it's not like a thing. It's like, oh, she's married to a woman. Got it. Like, that's much more likely to be my thing. So I've never really, the coming out, I understand the coming out in the queer community. I've never been in to be out. You know, I discovered being bisexual in college. So, and in college it's somewhat, so I went to Spelman, all girls, Morehouse is all boys, and, like, we get down to get down at Spelman. Like, I'm just saying it like that. Like, I think when you are at an all-girls school, if that is something that's inside of you, you're definitely going to explore it. So it was definitely explored at Spelman. And like I said in the previous bonus, college is where I got really exposed to, like, sex work, stripper culture, that kind of stuff. So in the college environment, I don't want to say it was a badge of honor, but it wasn't, in my college experience, I should say, it wasn't looked down upon. And then naturally, I've kind of been in those communities where a good portion of my married friends swing. And, like, both of them, like, the men have sex with other men, the women have sex with other women, they have sex with each other, all kind of stuff. But it's because these are my different little communities, and I'm not judgmental. So and I think because of that, I'm not around those type of people. Now, my husband is one of those people that's very much like, he's a conservative. He's a Republican, super conservative, and yes, he's black. A Republican, super conservative, and so he's like, anything queer is a no for him. Like how some men are like, gay men is bad, but they love the idea of women having sex together and seeing that. My husband is a that's bad too kind of guy. He knows that I'm bisexual, but it's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. Like, we never talk about it. But my husband is also one of those people, like, you don't talk about anything really that's happened in your past. Like, he never wanted to know about old sex partners, male or female, or any of that kind of stuff. So I say that to say the other people in my life that might be judgmental, they know I'm not hiding it. That's just not something I explore with them. They know it's part of my reality. They might overhear me having the conversation with someone else. They're not going to get in the conversation to, like, tell me it's bad or anything like that. They're also not joining the conversation to say it's good. And that's kind of my thing. I don't get exposed because I'm one of those people, I'm going to spray you with my own, like, you can't spray me with my own tea. Like, so I'm going to tell you before you can tell anybody else. And because I'm super private, like I said, it's a private without hiding anything. Like, I'm not purposely not telling you. I just don't fuck with you like that. So that's why you don't know if I fuck with you like that. If I fuck with you like that and it came up, like it would. Like, I got people I've known for years that did not have siblings because I'm not close to my siblings, so I don't talk about them. So, like, in a conversation, my sister got married. I said, yeah, my sister got married. This person that has known me for like 10 years was like, you got a fucking sister, bitch? Yeah, but it wasn't like I didn't hide it. I don't fuck with her like that, so it's just never come up. So I don't know. That's kind of my thing. When you suggested this job, though, I was like, the reason I want to talk about it in terms even of the show, the first season, I kind of had some issues with Unc and Murda on Unc's side because I kind of feel like she was forcing him to come out, or I felt like that watching the first season. And I absolutely hate the idea of somebody being outed before they're ready. And I always felt like in the first season and a little bit of the second season, I felt like Unc was almost like forcefully outing Murda. And I thought it was interesting. Like, I see how it could happen because Unc has always been Unc. She's always been loud and proud in who she is. So although she's part of the community and understands what coming out is to people, like me, has never necessarily come out because she's never been in. So I understand that may be part of it, because to her it's like, just tell people. But at the same time, she does fully understand the consequences. So it has bothered me throughout the series. I don't know if anyone else has felt like, I feel that the way Unc was approaching Murder coming out was kind of forceful.
Well, I didn't think that she was forcing him. So from my perspective, and I think it's really interesting that your perspective was that season 1 she was trying to force him out. I would love to go in more dialogue about that at a time. But I felt like he kind of came off initially that he was ready, because he was asking her, when are you going to let me take you out? You know, I'm going to take anywhere you want to go. Just tell me where you want to go. So I think in her mind, he was ready to take it there. And so then she's like, okay, let's go. And he's like, we about that business right now. I don't, like, I don't know what the fuck you doing. And I feel like she did get it prior to him asking her to take, pressing her even. Tell me anywhere you want to go. You want to go to the Hot Wing King? Okay, we can go there. The Hot Wing Castle. Geez, I'm all on the Hot Wing King. Lord have mercy. And then in season 2, I felt like it wasn't that she was forcing him out, but more so is that I am out and I am free, and I intend to continue to live out and free. If you want to be with me, that is going to have to be what it is, because I'm not hiding myself, and I realize that, maybe at this big age, I don't want to be in the closet, and I respect that because I feel like when she cut him loose, it was like, I respect that you're not ready, and per your career, you need to keep things under wraps, so let's just not. I just felt like it was more of a, like, this is how I want to live my life, and you're not ready to live your life like that, so then we need to go our separate ways.
I think, for me, I don't think I ever looked at it as if Unc was ever asking Murda to come out. I don't think she did that. I think it was more her not wanting to be a secret, and even though those two things sound the same, like not keeping me a secret and you have to come out, I don't think they were. I think her expectations from him really changed after what he did for Murder Night, because going into it, she expected to be his secret. And then, like you said, he was in her face telling her, we don't have to suck and fuck in the dark. Just tell me where you want to go. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. We can go out. And then she believes him, and it doesn't turn out that way. And she comes to the realization, well, okay, I don't want to be a secret. So you have to figure something out. But I don't think she ever asked him to come out. And for me, as the season went on, at the end of season 2, I expect Ramage where, okay, Wody knows, and the people that are important to me know, but he's not putting his career in jeopardy. That kind of, some kind of middle ground there that would have been acceptable to Unc and made her not feel as if she was a secret, but also didn't really jeopardize everything that Murda had worked for and put his career in jeopardy. So I don't know if that answers the question, but
yeah, no, I can see all those facts, but I don't know why. Because when I look back on it, now that I'm looking back, I kind of see, because me and my best friend talked about this a lot, during the first season when we were kind of at the same level of fandom that I have super surpassed, so we don't talk as much about it anymore. But that was my thing, and he kind of said the same thing. He's a gay man, and he kind of said the same thing. He was like, I don't feel like she's forcing him out. I feel like because my best friend is out, and he's not DL, but he is like in business environments, he's very aware of he's probably not bringing his husband to the gala or that kind of thing. But if you know him, you know he's gay, but that was his thing, because when he dates, it's the same. He explained kind of what y'all said. He's out, and he's just not going to mess with a DL dude, because he's gone through everything that he has with his family, his friends, opportunities maybe he's been passed up for, friends that maybe he's lost, all of those things to get to this point where he's out and he's proud. And he grew up here in the South, in southern Atlanta and southern Georgia, so comes from that fire and brimstone, churchy kind of family that even to this day, they'll like send him a pamphlet about how homosexuality is bad. And he'd be like, if you don't get this the fuck out my face and just keep it moving, and they keep it moving. But the fact that he even goes through that, he said, there's no way in the world that I could then be with a person that's totally hiding themselves and has no idea what that experience is like, or is like me and has always been out. And it's in the community, in the black gay male community, almost all of the dating is apps. It's either clubs or apps. My best friend is not a club dude, so it's apps. And that's like, in addition to the diseases and everything else, one of his first questions is, are you out? Because for him, that's like an instant deal breaker. So I can see what you guys are saying, because Nico has talked about this with Uncle Clifford, and why pretty much what I just said about my best friend at the interview that Nico did, and said the reason why she kind of was on Murda's neck about coming out is because there's no way you go through what Uncle Clifford goes through and are still so proud and out about who you are as a person, and then date someone that's hiding who they are as a person. It's just not possible. So I see both sides, but yeah, first season, and I don't know why, I just was like, that, I think it's 108 specifically, when we get to that, when it was like, I always thought it was weird because they had never had a conversation about coming out, so her putting her hand on his shoulder in the VIP was kind of like, y'all haven't had that conversation, and then she's like mad because he's not coming out. It just bothered me, but I do see your side as well. Do we have anything else on the coming out being exposed?
What's up, Pink Posse? Have you heard the word? I know you've heard the word, because there is a resounding celebration happening right now. Here at Pink Sunday Radio, we want to send a big shout out to the Pink Posse for all the love and support they have been showing us and P-Valley for the last month and a half. Because you know what? The results were 3 out of 6 categories won. Best Drama Series, check. Best Actor in a Drama Series, check. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, check. Congratulations to P-Valley, congratulations to Nico Ahmed, and congratulations to Miss Loretta Devine. We are truly, truly proud of Pink Posse and the cast and crew. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Appreciate y'all for listening to the show. You can find us on Blog Talk Radio by using the link bit.ly/Pink Sunday. For Apple Podcasts, go to pinksundayradio.com. Make sure after listening to the replay, you leave a 5-star rating in the review, as well as a subscribe. For Google Podcasts, go to pinksundayradio.com/Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify at pinksundayradio.com/Spotify. Hope to see y'all at the next episode.